Hello, this is Cara. Welcome. I am starting a new project for the month of October. It's going to be a ring-bound Halloween journal, and I'm going to do different prompts in the journal. I think it's kia.creates or something. I'll put her name in the description. She has some really fun prompts, and I'm going to kind of go along with that. So on Fridays throughout the month of October, I'll be doing a few different spreads from her prompts. But today we need to make the journal. So my plan is I'm going to make the journal, make the cover, and do one prompt, which I think will be bingo. So let me show you what we have here. I've pulled out vintage. It doesn't have to be vintage. You can use whatever you have. This is just for me to make the base, and then I'm going to decorate it later. But let me show you what I have for the base. I have some packaging, Tim Holtz, vintage ledger, book pages. This is from a science book. All of these. I have some coffee dyed paper, book pages, atlas, braille pages, more coffee dyed paper, more book pages. These I have glued together in the past, so they're a little more stable. Here we have some different book pages, a little bit shiny. And then I just pulled out some different texture types of bits. I have some different pages, old paper, lined paper, music sheets, and here are my bingo cards. We might use one of these, and a label. So just a variety of pages, and I tried to kind of stay neutral because then when I decorate it, I can cover it with the colors and the things that I want. So I also have a bunch of Halloween things. Last year's kits, there's like 9 from last year. This year's palette kit and different ephemera pieces. There's an orange version of this, a purple version, and a teal version of this kit. I think I'm going to go mainly orange with my ring-bound binder because this new kit has mostly orange and black, but there is a purple kit. That's what these are from, and this is from the teal kit. So anyway, and these are tickets. There's a bunch of ephemera from last year. Yeah, a bunch. Okay, I made so far a couple pages just to get an idea of what size I want, and I'm not really trying to be exact, but this is 6.5 by 7 3/4, and this one is 6.5 by 7 1/4. So they're gonna vary, and it's just kind of like putting a masterboard together, but you're doing it on 2 sides, kind of. Not really trying to stick exactly to this size. I want some longer bits and some scrappy bits. Yeah, but I'm just gonna do the base. All right, so let's make some more. And I'm using a glue stick. Maybe I'll use this cover for part of the next page. And varying colors, right? We want some of the different colors. And we have different texture. Let's see. This is going to be hard to cover. It's fun. Let's take a little more of this. I don't know if I want. I don't think I want that one. I want a lot of the yellow. I'll take this though. I'm gonna make these, so then I'm gonna have a hard time covering them up, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe some of this down here, or maybe like this. So yeah, I just kind of want the base Scrappy, just for fun, just to be a little bit different. Maybe we'll put this way. Include that, maybe up here. Okay. And what else? Here's a sheet, it's really cool. Alright, now let's check out the other side. And on this side, I kind of want to, like if there's flimsy pieces, I want to build it up a little bit. Oh, my glue. My glue. I think I need a new glue stick. Let me just see if we're in the same-ish ballpark. This one we could cut down just a smidge. Let's rip. Whoops, that's gonna work. Let's go this way. There we go. Okay, and I'm gonna let that one dry. And then let's get the packaging. Let's use this. And then let's get the packaging. Let's do this. Really put that so I get a little flip out. So on the side, we'll put this out of it. There's no here. Let's get all these together. Let's see. Let's cut this one down a little too. There's no here. All these together. Oh, let's see. Let's cut this one down a little bit too. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we're gonna do a few more and I'll be back. Okay, so now I'm gonna make the covers. I'm gonna use this craft colored file folder and I'm gonna cut it a little bit bigger, maybe 1/8 of an inch bigger than my pages. And I'm just gonna cut around, and then this will act as the base for my front cover and my back cover. For the covers, I'm gonna continue collaging on some base papers, and I want a mix of the creams and the whites and the different textures and patterns. So I'm going to do both the front and the back of the front cover, does that make sense? And then the front and the back of the back cover. All right, on the back cover, I have the bottom of the bag that I ripped up and used in different places, and I left it intact so that the bag is going to be used as a pocket. Here, I'll show you in a second. I'll lift it up. And I'm showing both the sides. But it is going to be a pocket, and later in the video I'm going to decorate it, and I'm going to show you how I reinforced it so it's nice and strong. There we go. So there is a pocket. Okay, I have my covers and my pages. Now, depending on how many days or how much you want your journal, then you would depend on how many pages you have. I think this will work for me. I just wanted to show you this one I made off camera, and it's using the packaging, and I just covered enough to just cover it, but not all the way. And there's glue. I might have to do something about that. All right, so let's decorate our covers with some different papers. All right, for the cover, I'm going to use some of my digitals to cover up the front cover. Now, after doing this, I thought, why did I use some of my vintage ledger and different vintage items? Maybe I didn't want to use them because a lot of them are going to get covered up. So if you're doing this project and you have a limited amount of vintage items, maybe don't put your most precious down as the base layer. So I thought about that after I started adding on my journal pages. There were definitely pages on here that I didn't really care about, but my vintage ledgers are kind of like gold, and I thought, why was I putting those down? Now, I'm not going to cover all of every page when I go through decorating the journal, but for my cover, I wanted it to be mainly all covered with Halloween images. So there is that. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just collaging, adding some different Halloween pages from some of the kits, and then I'm also going to turn it in and do the inside cover, and I'm using the leftover pieces from the papers from the front cover. Is that confusing? Yeah, so see in the bottom corner there's a vintage music sheet. Yeah, I totally covered it up, but oh well, it is what it is. But if you are doing this project, just keep that in mind, that maybe your most precious things you don't want to have as your base layer. All right, so I'm going to continue to do this with both the front and back covers. Okay, so I think this is how I want the cover. I pulled out some Tim Holtz mummy cloth. Is that what he calls it? I'm not really sure. And I'm going to put some of this under. So these have faux staples. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and add a couple real staples, just so they all have a staple. And then I have some little labels that I want to put on here and there. All right, so far that is my cover. And here's my inside cover. And I think I want to make this a pocket right here. All right, I have this page from the new palette, Halloween. Let's see. This would make a good pocket right here. I'm going to layer it up. I'm going to glue this on. And then I'm going to rip some of the like that. And then this, so I am covering that, that's okay. So this will go here. do we want it just a little shorter? There we go. And then we can glue this on as a pocket. And then we need something on our pocket. All right, here's the back cover. So I'm going to cover this as well. All right, so this was a little bag, and I think I want to leave this as a pocket. So if I can get this to kind of fit right here. That'd be cool. Okay, I'm going to put this down here. Get this right up there. So I might not use this on this cover. Okay, just like that. All right, so now I want to have this pocket. Probably should reinforce it a bit. What if I turn this over? And I'm going to glue this down, and then hopefully, maybe some washi tape. All right, I think I'm going to use this washi tape. There we go. And then this, where should we put this? Maybe right here. Maybe a little bit right up here. Okay. So we now have another pocket. I think we need a decoration here. All right, I have some things kind of laid out. I'm going to put this ticket and some of that flimmy cloth right here in the front of this. More showing. There we go. And then I think I might make this a flip and this a flip. But then I have these pieces. This is from the other half of that journal page. Just going to tuck this down here with that. And then I'm going to use this 30 like that. And then we'll have this eye poking out of the pocket, or peeking out of the pocket, I guess. Like that. Or I have some of this rose fabric tape. This is from a long time ago at Dollar Tree. I wish they still had this. This is really fun. It's like this. And then this will fold open. Need to ink or do something to that, and then I think I want to do the same thing over here. Maybe. And then this one will flip this way. And then we have a pocket that we still need to fill here. A little bit of water. Now I can dab that up. There we go. That'll try. And then we need, there we go. And then same thing, let's ink this up. Same thing, ink this up. More. And then we need something to put behind here. Okay. And then we need something to put behind here. Alright, so here's what I have so far. My front cover again. my inside cover in my pocket. I'm going to do this with the bingo card, and here's what I did for the back cover, and here is the flip. Put the bat here, and we still have this pocket. Okay, so let's go back to this first page, and I think I'm going to use this green vintage bingo card, and I think what I'm going to do, I'm either going to make it a flip or a pocket, and I printed some things that I think my family and or kids will do over the holidays now that they're teenagers. One is in college. We don't do as many of the fun Halloween things as we used to, but I came up with 10, and I think it would be really fun to add tags with the 10 things if we do them, right? Like decorate for Halloween, a picture of my son in his costume, or my daughter, she might send me one. A picture if we have apple cider, pumpkin, I was either thinking carved pumpkin or pumpkin pie, but yeah, anything pumpkin related. A picture over fall break, my son turned 16, autumn, just in general, maybe autumn leaves, autumn colors, pumpkin spice, family, and friends. And so then I just did that on my, what is it called? Google Docs. And then I thought I could take these, ink them up, and put them on my bingo card. And then when we do the things on the bingo card on my tag, I could say, oh, B4 was decorate. That makes sense? Kind of silly, but I don't think we're going to have 25 things. So I think that's how I'm going to go about that. You know what would be easier? Just ink this whole. I'm afraid some of them are going to be a little long, so we'll see how that's going to work out. This here. I also thought it would be fun to just make a bingo card, but I was like, oh, I want to use the vintage one, so that's what I'm going to do. Do double-sided tape. That will be easier. I think I'm just going to use birthday with the 16. That will work. Okay, so I have all of my events, and then let's go ahead and glue this on, and I'm going to leave this as a pocket. At the flip through, hopefully, I will have added some tags for the things that we do over the month. All right, and I also cut out some tickets. I'm going to put this one down here. And then I'm going to put the witch's hat up here. And then I have some of the apothecary labels. These are the itty bitty ones. I was thinking we could put a couple of these on here. Looks like I have different sizes. I have the, I'm not sure if it's medium size, but I definitely have the small itty bitties. These. This one here. There we go. Take this one up here. This one right there. This one right there. All right. Have you already decorated for Halloween or autumn? I have pumpkins, and that's about it. All right. I think that's good. That's our pocket. And now, how about we clean up and then put it together? Okay, so let's add our rings. And I might end up getting bigger rings. These just happen to be the ones I have right now. Yeah, so I might have to go to Dollar Tree and see what they have. So I'm just gonna do 2 right about here. They're a good measure, but 1 here and about there. And I'm just going to go ahead and punch holes. And then we can use the first one as a guide for the next one. Flip this around, this is easier than the other time. Maybe that works much better. There we go. This I left as a tab. I think if we reinforce it, it'd be fun to dangle something off of here. This I left as a tab. I think if we reinforce it, we can dangle something off here. This one has a flip on this side. Back cover. Okay. And then put them through the circles, the holes. There we go. All right, and now there is our book so far. There's the front cover. Fun and scrappy. I love it. Oops, this one I missed. And a little flip. And then this is our back cover, and those flip. We have a pocket, and there's the back. Yay! Cool. What do you think of this fun, scrappy little journal so far? I think it's really fun. I am going to want to add some reinforcers to our holes. I might even do some stitching. But we will see. Alright, so that's what we have so far. And come on back next Friday. We're going to continue with another prompt working in our fun October ring bound journal. Alright, check out this next video, and if you like this video, a thumbs up will help me tremendously. And if you are inclined, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!